Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Shit Show, the podcast where musicians talk about shit. Today we have a very special guest joining us. He is really exploding on social media at this point in time, and he is a really inspirational figure who has overcome so much adversity in his life to get where he is today. He's an amazing guitar player and an amazing human being. Please welcome Peter Dankelson of Pete's Diary. Pete, welcome to the podcast. We also have Tyler Hodges here with us.
What's up? How you guys doing? It's so good to meet you, man.
Good to meet you too.
Super excited about this.
Yeah, we've been really chomping at the bit. Sorry it's been so crazy, like getting you communicating, and then stuff's happened, and condolences about your grandfather.
Thank you. Yeah,
I know that's got to be tough, but so yeah, you're becoming like an overnight sensation, man. You're really blowing up on social media, and that's fantastic.
Yeah, no, it's been quite a ride. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
I'm sure. Yeah. I'm sure. So how old were you when you started playing guitar?
Let's see. I first picked up the guitar when I was 15 years old.
Okay, wow. So, let's see. How old are you now?
21.
21. So you've not been playing that long, man. You're killing it.
Thanks. Yeah, I think it's been 6 years.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Wow. I wish I was as good as you are when I was playing for 6 years.
It's not like it happened overnight, you know. It's
I know.
like it's been a constant, practicing every day for 6 years.
Yep.
And still seeing what's next. So it's just always been, you just keep playing every day and you just keep progressing. So it's been a lot of fun so far.
That's really what it takes is a lot of time. I started playing when I was in 7th grade. I think I was about 12 years old or something.
Mm-hmm.
And my whole high school I spent in my bedroom playing guitar. Like Leonard Skinner taught me how to play guitar.
Yeah. I mean, it was the same thing with me. I mean, pretty much all throughout high school, it was pretty much blasting AC/DC and Guns N' Roses and Zeppelin and
awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty much what all that was.
Good question.
Yeah, I picked up. I think I started playing around the 8th grade. I was 13 or 14, and I was actually homeschooled through high school, so I really got to stay home and lock myself in my room and just practice all day.
Oh, wow.
That's literally all I did through high school.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So do you play any other instruments?
Let's see. Not really. Actually, it's funny that you should mention that. Right next to me, we just got back from my great grandpa's service, and he played harmonica.
Oh, okay.
He was in Japan during World War II. It's kind of a neat story, but he said when he was on guard duty, somebody had a harmonica, and he's like, I don't know what to do with this thing. Grandpa's like, I'll take it. So he told me that he played it when he was out on guard duty because there wasn't anyone around. So he said he'd kind of play it up and down, and it sounded like he played for my mom and grandma as well. And he played for me once too. So I had one of his harmonicas, and yesterday we found a jaw harp. Do you know what those are?
Yeah. We down here in the South we call them a juice harp, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
I've definitely chipped a tooth or two.
Yeah, so we found. Great grandpa gave me one of his harmonicas, and we found a jaw harp. So I kind of have those things right next to me. And, he had all these booklets as well, so I have all this stuff next to me with the. Just kind of like harmonica basics and scales, and still trying to figure out what on earth to do with the jaw harp, YouTube videos and stuff. But that's just kind of like, so I don't know if I can really play them, but I'm just kind of messing around with them, tinkering
that's awesome.
with them. So that's kind of funny that you should mention that. Yeah.
That's awesome. My grandfather also plays the harmonica. He sure does. I don't think he ever played the jaw harp. I've never tried to play a jaw harp. Have you, Tyler?
I said, once or twice, and it sucks if you miss and hit your tooth or something.
I can't even get a sound out of it. Yeah, I don't know if you played it, but it was it was there at the house. So I'm not sure if he had it and never figured it out, or had it in a drawer and forgot it. I don't know. I'd never heard of it until we found it. So that was just kind of like, huh, that's interesting.
Man, they make a really interesting sound.
Yes,
they're very interesting,
especially
sounds.
when you miss.
Yes.
It goes ah.
If I'm not mistaken, there's a Who song that has a jaw harp in it. I think it's Squeezebox, maybe.
Has a jaw
I don't know
harp?
if I know that one.
I'm
I'll have
pretty
to check
sure.
that.
Really?
I'm pretty sure Squeezebox has a jaw harp in it.
I'm not sure.
Wonder who played it.
Might.
I don't know. That's a good question.
If we wouldn't instantly get copyright struck, we would just look it up.
I know.
YouTube is terrible for that.
They are. Yeah, I uploaded an episode of the podcast last week, and dude, it was blocked for like 4 days.
Oh no!
It was. We reacted to just we watched a Watch Mojo video of guitar players, of guitar solos, actually. So we were watching a video on YouTube, and our YouTube video got blocked.
Oh yeah, YouTube. There's like all sorts of copyright and all the all that type of stuff. So I wonder, a song that was on that Watch Mojo list probably,
It was no, dude. It was every song on that Watch Mojo list. It was every song. Literally, we had a copyright strike for every single song.
Did we really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Well, I disputed them and they unblocked the video, but it was funny. So what inspired you to pick up the guitar?
Well, it all kind of started, when I was 15 years old. Mm-hmm. Actually, it's kind of interesting. Kind of at that point in my life, a lot had changed. I used to live, for the first 15 years of my life, I lived in Michigan. And then we moved to Chicago in between my 8th grade and freshman year of high school. Mm-hmm. So kind of that was kind of a whole, transition in my life. And that was when I kind of really started to dig deeper into music and started listening to more music and just kind of, more rock and roll and all that, guitar. Kind of, bass music. Stepping away from all the stuff that was on the pop radio in middle school, just kind of like covered my own path a little bit there.
Yeah.
And so just kind of like, everything changed. So music was kind of like a big crutch for me at that point. It was something I could turn to help, calm my nerves a little bit. New state, new city, going into high school for the first time, not knowing anyone. So lots of changes. So music was something that kind of helped me. And then kind of in the spring of that freshman year, it kind of boiled over to, okay, I've been listening to so much music. Why not learn how to play guitar? Seems like it would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So one night I said to my dad, I'm like, oh, hey, I think I might want to learn how to play guitar. I mean, it seems like it would be fun. And his first reaction was, really? And he's like, well, lucky for you, he has his, it's like he had an amp and a guitar from when he was in high school. He played. So we went down into the storage room and pulled out the amp and guitar, and I kind of went on YouTube and started looking at chords and stuff, and, been going strong ever since. So that's kind of how it all started.
That's awesome. Did you take lessons, or are you self-taught?
So the first year was pretty much YouTube. Mm-hmm. So like I was looking up some of those AC/DC tunes and, kind of putting those chords together. And then about a year after I was playing, let's see, there was a School of Rock that opened close to where it was like 5 minutes from where, do you know what School of Rock is?
Yep, sure do.
Based off the movie and all that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So there was one that opened up like 5 minutes, not even from where we used to live. So, I started taking lessons there and started to play with the band there. So that was, started taking lessons there. And also that was the first time I started to play with other people as well. So that was a lot of fun.
Dude, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. For me, like it was, I saw this guy at church. My father's a minister. He's a preacher. And I saw a guy playing the bass guitar at church. And I don't know. I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. It was the coolest thing in the world to me. So I was like, I want to play bass. And they were like, well, you got to learn to play guitar first. So I was like, okay, fine. So I had this old Silvertone acoustic that was my great-grandmother's. I mean, dude, the action was like that far off the fretboard. Yeah. It was a horrible, horrible playing. No truss rod. There's nothing you could do with it. But, it served its purpose, and I still have it to this day. It's hanging on my wall in my living room because it's sentimental to me. It belonged to my great grandmother.
Absolutely.
But
well, it's like the harmonicas and all that with me. You know, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
Yep. So I played that, and I actually learned on bluegrass. That was the first like my first introduction to music was bluegrass. And then I heard a friend of mine introduced me to Sweet Home Alabama by Leonard Skinner, and I was just like obsessed from that point on with Leonard Skinner. Tyler's a big Van Halen fan. He's an Eddie guy.
Yeah, I feel like 99% of my stuff is
fantastic.
Oh gosh, yeah. I feel like he's probably influenced every guitar player in some way or another, at least a little bit.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. That's awesome. So, what are you listening to now? Like, what song has been playing on your phone the most for the past couple of weeks?
Ooh, that's a good question. Let's see. That's a tough one. Well, actually, Into the Void, Black Sabbath. I really love that. Yeah.
That's a deep cut too. That's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's kind of a deep cut, but I mean, if you're like, you know, a guitar player, it's like, you know that, you know, and that whole, you know, Masters of Reality album and all that. Just, that too is just kind of like, man, that great guitar riff. Great, just everything.
Oh, yeah, dude. Tony Iommi was the man. He was the man. Yeah. What about you, Tyler? What have you been listening to other than our band stuff? Tyler's the guitar player for my band, too, so.
I've been completely unshamelessly going back over the Van Halen stuff. I was listening to I've been going over Balance a lot here lately.
It's a good album.
I think that might be my favorite Van Halen album.
Really?
Yeah.
Mine's Diver Down. Still Diver Down.
Really? I mean, I'm definitely not gonna argue with any of them.
Yeah. Oh no.
Whatsoever. They're all justifiable.
Diver Down's got some really fun songs on it. Like was it Full Bug, Hang 'em High? Those are some, you know, the upbeat, just like they hit you pretty good. And even like it took a turn sometimes with Big Bad Bill, you know, Sweet William Now.
That's my favorite song I think that Van Halen has ever put out.
Yep.
I mean, it was just like such a surprise when I listened to that album for the first time. I was like, where's this coming from? You know, it was kind of like, well, I was like, okay, this is pretty neat, but why? Well, and then I saw that, you know, just kind of curious and looking up to see, like, okay, what was the reason they did this song? Is it just like, hey, let's do something different? And then I think I saw that Eddie's dad played clarinet on the song. So I'm like, oh, maybe that was just a really fun moment. And it's like, hey, you know, father, son.
Yeah, I think that's definitely what it was.
You know,
oh, for sure.
Playing together. So like, oh, that's cool. Yeah. It was a surprise, but it was a cool surprise. It was neat.
What rig are you playing now? What's your go-to guitar rig?
Live, I'm using an SG, and then I have it's Jared James Nichols.
Yeah.
Great, fantastic guitar player. I'm using his signature Black Star Live.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I know exactly.
So it's pretty much an SG. I have two. It's a Junior and they call it a Faded. Faded. So I kind of alternate between those two sometimes, depending on the night or what I'm feeling.
That's awesome.
And I'm using that with the amp. And then I also have a talk box, an MXR talk box I'm using because we jam Rocky Mountain Way. Oh, and that's just kind of fun. It's a fun excuse to use the talk box.
Oh, absolutely. That was my next question, actually, is what kind of pedal board have you got going on?
It's just that talk box. And I have a wireless that I'm using now. It's a Shure. I don't know the exact name of it. Actually, is it charging up here? No, it's not. I don't know what the name of the wireless unit is, but it's a Shure, which is like a little tuning pedal.
Oh, it's the pedal one, dude. Those are killer. Those are killer. I know exactly what you're talking about. They're awesome. Okay, they're awesome. I'm all digital. I've got an SG Junior. I got a P90 Junior. No, I don't know if mine's a special or a Junior.
Well, the Junior has the one pickup in it.
Okay, mine's the special. It's got two P90s.
With the dot in...
Yep.
Okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure that would be the special.
Yeah, mine's the special. It's a metallic red finish, which was really bizarre. I was when I actually got it, when I ordered it, I thought it was going to be just a regular cherry SG.
Yeah.
And then I got it, and I opened up the case, and I was like, the hell? This thing's metallic. I had no clue.
Yeah. It is. I saw they're doing I think it's metallic red and like I don't know if it's felon blue, but it's like that light blue kind of color. But now I saw they are doing the normal kind of red, kind of the orangish red looking color. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
That got added.
That's awesome.
Not too long ago, I think. Yeah.
I actually gave up amplifiers. I've went completely digital, going direct in, and I'm dragging Tyler into this world, kicking and screaming.
Reluctantly, you'll never take me alive.
So I'm using a Fractal FM3, and I love it, man. I love not having to lug a big amp because I've been a tube amp guy my whole life. I've played plexis and plexi clones, not real plexis, plexi clones, but I've been a tube amp guy my whole life, and recently, it all started with a Line 6 Pod HD500. I got one of those for Christmas, and I loved it. And then recently I got the FM3, and man, just going direct in is so convenient. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, I see a lot of people using it. Actually, I think I did play through, I don't remember exactly what it was. There wasn't an amp on stage, so I assume it was some type of digital amp. You're like, okay, I can hear myself through the monitor, and that was kind of, yeah.
Yep.
So, I don't remember exactly what it was. It was just kind of a quick thing. Yeah.
I'm interested in the Black Star. Can we go back to your amp?
It.
I saw one of the Jared James signature models in a store that was somewhat local, and I was very interested in it. How do you like that?
I played through because I think Jared's is based off of a model. Can't quite remember the name. I think it's called the HT20. It's at least one of those 2x12 half stack.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I haven't played through many of them, so I don't quite know what the similarities and differences are.
Okay. I didn't know it was based off of an AC20.
Or not I think it's an HT.
That's another Black Star model.
Oh, whoa, gotcha. Okay. Yeah. I was like, wow, it's a Vox clone. That's cool. Like, that's awesome, dude. No, that's killer, man. Switch gears. There's hard segue into this. This is an odd question, but I thought it was hilarious. What's the most unpleasant thing you've eaten lately?
That's a good question. I honestly don't know. Actually, it's weird. I don't really, because with my condition and stuff, I don't really eat that much. It's mostly a liquid diet.
Okay, gotcha.
I don't know. Yeah,
gotcha.
So that's kind of a funny question.
Well, that actually is a good segue into the next one. So, with your condition, it was what kind of challenges or obstacles have you had to overcome? I know you've had several surgeries.
Yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so basically I was born with a condition called golden heart syndrome. Basically, there's a lot that kind of goes on, but in my case, I'm missing my left ear. That's kind of the big thing. Mm-hmm. I have a bone anchor hearing aid on my left side, and that's been great, helps me hear and all that. Mm-hmm. And then I also have can't quite remember the medical term for it, but basically I have no muscle in my left thumb, so my fretting hand.
Gotcha.
So basically I could do, the camera. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, I see, yeah.
Yeah, so the left hand, it can kind of go more like up and down a little bit, like halfway. I always joke, it's like, if someone's like, Peter, how are you doing today? I'm like, 50-50, but actually that's kind of, especially with the guitar, some necks can be a bit challenging.
Sure.
But some of the, I think it's like a 57 gold top, I want to say it, like some of those necks can be massive, really chunky. Yeah. So they can be a bit uncomfortable to play. So like the 1SG I have, the faded, it's still my favorite neck profile on any of the guitars that I've had or played. It's just, don't know if that's because that's the guitar that I've had the longest. That's just what my hands always adapted to.
Right.
It really is just the neck shape, but I've always felt really comfortable on the more slimmer necks.
Probably a good combination of both, I would say.
I so, yeah.
Yeah, I know that's got to be challenging, playing music with issues with your hand and, being hearing impaired to some degree. I'm sure, on one side that you are, but that's also like, I guess on the flip side of that, what's the most rewarding aspect of your journey, not just through musicianship, but through life?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I'm just glad that I've really managed to figure out how to play. Kind of managed to, figure it out and go. But it's been really fun too, because you find out about musicians that also have kind of gone through something, maybe not quite the same thing, but kind of had to overcome their own challenges.
Sure.
Like we were talking about, Sabbath earlier. Tony Iommi had that industrial accident with his fingertips.
Yep.
So for me, reading about that story, and kind of, it's not quite the same thing, but being able to relate a little bit about having something, happen to you, like, Tony's was quite a different case, but you kind of
sure, but no, I mean it's something that you have to overcome that will affect your playing and could affect your playing, that you've overcome to be the guitar player that you are today, which is, I mean, fantastic. So you do motivational speaking too, don't you?
Yeah, well, I mean, when COVID hit, that kind of took a, back, not backseat, but it just kind of stopped for a while.
Right.
So we've done a few here and there, but not much since before COVID. We used to before COVID all the time, but we've done a few here and there. But for the most part, it's kind of stopped for now. But I hope we can get back into it.
Oh yeah, I'm sure things are starting to calm down now, and thankfully, and bands are starting to tour again. That was the big thing, man.
Yeah.
I missed like live shows. Oh my gosh.
Yep, me too.
We went to a couple of nights ago. Actually, I went and saw Weird Al Yankovic live. Oh my god, dude, it was hysterical. It was amazing. It was amazing. What was the last concert you went to?
Last show I was at, I just saw the stadium tour in Milwaukee. That was great. And Mick Mars is another one of those guitar players that I really looked up to. That I was really excited to see, because he's also had to overcome some pretty big medical challenges as well.
Sure.
So Mick's another one of those guys, and the whole show is fantastic. It's just lots of great music, and it was just a lot of fun. 80s, 80s bands. It was just a big party. It was great.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah. Yeah, Mick Mars. Well, the whole band of Motley Crue, in their own way, had medical stuff. I mean, Nikki Sixx died twice. Now, a lot of it, granted, was self-inflicted.
Yeah, a little bit.
But yeah, Mick, man, for his age, he is an absolute monster. He's still got it.
Yes, he sounded, when I saw him just last month, he sounded fantastic. It was great. It was great to see him.
That's awesome.
And it looks like I saw, they had some billboards. Not billboards, but the screens in the stadium, kind of flash with different stuff. Looks like his solo album's going to be finally coming out soon. Because I've been kind of hearing about it for a while and really interested in hearing about it. It's like you hear something, then it would kind of stop for a while, then you hear something again. It looks like something's going to be happening with that. I hope. Yeah, because
that's cool.
Because I'm looking forward to hearing that whenever that comes out.
Yeah, man. I saw a YouTube video of you the other day on stage with Buck Cherry. What was that like? That was
awesome. Basically, the whole Buck Cherry thing, that started out, I think it's the record label. Maybe it's not the record label, management maybe, but they had, this was last summer, they had their new album come out. Which is Hellbound. And it's a really great album, but basically, it was kind of before the album came out, and they were getting ready to release the next single, which was the title track. And somebody reached out and they're like, "Hey, Pete, would you want to, jam the new Buck Cherry single that's going to be coming out, soon?"
Dude, that's awesome.
Oh, I'm like, of course. I'm like, love those guys. Yeah, I was going to be like, nah.
No, I'm good, right? Said no one ever.
But they were like, would you want to jam the tune and share it when the single drops? And it's like, of course. So they sent that, and I think they sent the whole album over too, and just got to hear it early. And it was just like, oh, this is going to be great. Wow. So jam the single, the band shared it and everything. People were digging it. And then Stevie, he plays guitar in the band. he said, "Oh, hey, whenever we're coming to town, we'll pull you up on stage and you can jam it." And I was like, "Oh, cool." I didn't really think anything, would happen. But a couple months later, they're on tour and coming to. We're in between Chicago and Milwaukee, so we could kind of go to either. They were heading up to Summerfest in Milwaukee, and Stevie said, "Oh, hey, would you?" It was like a few days before, and he's like, "Hey, would you want to?" Oh, for some reason, Siri decided to chime in.
It's okay.
Not sure why that happened. Anyway, so the band's playing Summerfest, and we're getting ready. Stevie invited me to come on up and do Hellbound, and I was like, yes, that'd be fantastic. And so, went up and played with the band, and it was awesome. Really, really nice guys. It was fun to be side stage and watch them play, just like as a musician, watching them play and how they interact and kind of seeing, what, up close, what kind of goes into putting on a show like that. It was a lot of fun. And then quite a while later, in early May, they came back to town and they invited me up to play with them again, and it was great. So it was a lot of fun. Yeah,
that's
great
insane.
band. Really nice guys.
That's awesome, man. That's killer. So, what? With that being said, what artists now would you like to collaborate with the most?
That's a tough one. I mean, I'm just like I'm just grateful.
Yeah.
For that'll have me up. I don't know. I mean, there's like the dream, of jamming with people that I've always loved. Like,
Who are they? Tell me.
I mean, you got Angus.
Man.
Angus has always been my hero.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's kind of, if anyone knows me, they know that.
I can tell that in your playing and your guitar choice. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Slash is another huge one as well. He's a big hero of mine. I really love his playing a lot. Whether it's Guns, The Conspirators, Snake Pit, his playing has always been something I've really, resonated with. Yeah. Those are like the big two. That's like the dream. But I've been lucky enough to actually play with Jared James Nichols.
That's awesome.
4 years ago. Yeah, that was really cool too.
Wow, you hear that, Slash and Angus? Like they're gonna see this show. I kid myself, but no, seriously, man, that's fantastic. That and who knows, dude? I mean, stuff happens all the time. You may very well end up on stage with them, one of them or both of them one day, and I'll be like, hey, I interviewed that dude.
That's like, those are like the big two. That's like the dream. But like I said, it's like anyone that'll have me up, I'm grateful for any. Sure. So it's like whoever will have me, I'm more than happy to hop up and play. Absolutely.
So hard segue to the next question. What color are your shoes?
Oh, they're like just like the black and white Converse.
Nice. Chucks.
Oh, I have no idea. I don't know about.
We're a silly show, man. You just gotta overlook us. We're very, very silly. What's your favorite movie?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Let's see. I've always been a huge Star Wars fan, so any of the Star Wars movies.
Yes.
Wonder. When Wonder came out a couple of years ago, it's based off of the book, and that's about a kid with a facial difference that started middle school for the first time, and kind of some of the social challenges with that, and being able to relate to the book so well, and seeing it get turned into a movie. I really got a kick out of that movie too.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's a perfect segue to this question. Tell me about your book. You have a book out.
Yeah. Yes. It's How I Learned to Rock My Life. Yeah. Well, that was really Mom's passion project.
Yeah.
Yeah. But basically, it's cool because with the book, I think it's really neat because it basically tells the first. Well, basically, the bulk of it is really kind of the early years, which I don't really remember. That's why Mom.
Gotcha. Sure.
But it really goes into detail about all the medical stuff that I had done. And, basically I had, a lot of the big stuff with me happened in between, 1 and 4 years old. So I don't really remember a ton of the big medical stuff, but really the book just kind of is a good way that kind of shares that side of the story that maybe people don't know so much about. They see me playing guitar and all that. Then I know a little bit about, what I've been through with Golden Heart and all that, but the book goes into detail about all the stuff that I've had done with procedures and stuff. So that's kind of why we did it. And also with the book too, it's like maybe it can help someone else that might be in the same situation with some different procedures and that type of thing. So really, it shares that story, but also it's like if it can help somebody too, that's a huge as well.
Absolutely. And I noticed, I've seen a lot of your passion and a lot of your career really is about helping people, and it's more about that, I think, than it is playing music, really.
Yeah. I mean, the big thing is entertaining. You just want people to have a good time and, cheer them up, brighten their day. But, it's like, and if you can help somebody, in any way, that's a huge thing, too. So it's two really important things: make people happy and also, help somebody. So,
when's your band's next show?
Oh man, we've been playing like every weekend for like a month now. It's been great. Like every Saturday we've had a gig for like the past 4 weeks. It's been a lot of fun. We're finally, I think the last show for this, I wouldn't call it a run, but these weekend gigs. Yeah. The last one's going to be at the House of Blues on Saturday, so that's going to be fun.
Wow. Yeah. That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've been watching on Instagram and stuff. Your reels and your everything, your stories. Yeah. I mean, y'all are killing it. Absolutely killing
Thank you.
Y'all are really, really good. Super tight.
Thank you.
The song choice is great too. Y'all love the classic rock stuff, obviously. That's
well, and that's what gets people moving too. Mm-hmm. They recognize the songs and they can, dance to them right away, or sing along or whatever it might be. So that's kind of the main thing.
Oh, absolutely. Well, if you weren't a musician, what do you think you would be doing? What would your career path be if you weren't a musician?
That's a tough one. I really don't know. I mean, I did do the speaking, I wouldn't say did, still have, but just haven't in quite a while, thanks to COVID.
Right.
But I think it's so hard to know because it's not like it's done. But
it's it's not.
Out there right now.
It's not.
But it's like I probably would have just kept going with that. I don't know. It's really hard to tell because music was like the first thing that I really, really fell in love with. Like on my own, because I tried so much stuff as a kid. Like I did karate. I did piano when I was little, and with the piano, it got to the point where it was so bad. I think the piano teacher said to my mom like she couldn't take her money anymore. So that was a bust.
That sounds like my attempt at playing violin. It was very similar.
There's a really funny photo of me playing trombone in middle school.
Oh yeah,
I forgot that. Yeah, that didn't last either.
I played trumpet in middle school and high school. I was first chair trumpet player in the band, and I still can play horns, but I don't. I actually was talking to Tyler, and I need to buy a new trumpet so I can play horns in our band, because we play a lot of music that has a lot of horn stuff in it. We play a lot of pop and pop rock from the 70s, 80s to current. But a lot of the stuff we play has horns in it, and right now we're relying heavily on backing tracks, and I have a Roland GR55 guitar synth on my 335 that I'm relying on for a lot of the different sounds too. And as fun as it is, I think I would prefer to have the real instruments rather than synth or backing tracks.
That's what I've always said, because like the drummer in the band, Ryan, he was in a Def Leppard cover band for a long time, and he would like hit do all these triggers with like octapads and stuff like that. So he's like, oh, we should try to do some of that stuff. I'm like, I'm gonna try and keep this as live as possible. Seeing bands like Dirty Honey and Tyler Bryant and the Shakedown, it's all live and in your face. As a rock guy, I love that energy. So like I want to keep going in that direction of keeping things live, really raw.
Sure.
in your face.
Absolutely.
It's not like backing tracks are a bad thing, but I'm just like I
Right.
love the energy that you get of just that
Oh, man, me
it's like
too.
you and the band. It's like it's really cool.
Well, our
There's something-
problem here is we're in a very, very small town,
Yep.
like a tiny town. Like, if you drive through it and you blink, you've already missed it. It's gone. So there's just not the players here to
Right.
do what we need, and I want to bring something totally different to the table. We have a ton of bands in our area that play classic rock, and I was like, I don't want to. The market's kind of flooded here with that, so I wanted to do something completely different, and I wanted it to be well produced. But in order to play the songs, we either need a synth player, and that's something we're actively looking for right now, is a synth player, so I can just focus on guitar and do horn stuff.
Right.
But God, it would be amazing to have. But if I got my way, my band would be like 15 members. It would be
Right.
massive. And Tyler's just like, oh God, it's hard enough as it is getting stuff done. With 5 people. Man, it blew my mind, the amount of large, like massive acts that use backing tracks too. Like, it's kind of, a lot of them do.
Yeah.
A lot of them do. And I'm not super like stoked on the idea, but it works, and it fills out a lot of the parts that we just don't have players for.
Right.
But no, dude, your band's absolutely killing it. Absolutely killing it. You're absolutely killing it, man. Your stuff's blowing up. Like, I'm sure it's amazing to wake up and see, look at your feed and be like, holy crap.
Yeah, there's some things you wake up and you're like, whoa, like, where did that come from? It's wild. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, man, this has been awesome. Thank you so much for doing this, dude. It's been awesome, and man, you have an open invitation on our show. Anytime you want to come and sit and talk music with us, you're more than welcome to. You've got my contact information. You shoot me an email and be like, dude, I'm free. Let's talk some music.
Tell them let's do some
Yeah,
collab videos.
I'd love to come back at some point.
Yeah, let's do some collab videos of actually playing music. That's something we don't do enough of.
Yeah, there's like, the duets on TikTok and all that stuff.
Yeah, man. I'd love to. We'll set it up, dude. Well, have your people email my people, who is me. So.
Yeah.
Peter, where can people find you?
So basically, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, it's all Pete's Diary. I forget which ones we've had to put a dot and underscore on, but it's
Okay.
It's Pete's Diary pretty much all the way around. Yeah.
Pete's Diary, awesome, man. Thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been a huge pleasure, and we look forward to next time, man.
Yeah, thanks again for having me on.
Anytime.